Hello, welcome to SquishiVision. I'm going to make this super quick, but this is my reaction to Rings of Power Partings. Um, sorry, I had a moment there. Yeah, got this quick because I got to bounce off to work very, very soon. So that was a really good episode. End of review, I guess. No, as I say, what was making me anxious the entire time I was watching that was the prospect that Elrond was going to have to break his oath and ruin that so wholesome and beautiful friendship between him and Joe. And I'm like, if that happened, I was generally gonna be so mad for the rest of the day. But he did the thing I was screaming for him to do, which was to talk to Joe about it, which is what you should do if you have to break a promise with someone. Talk to them about it, and then even if they don't understand and you have to break it, at least they like know that you're gonna be doing that, and at least they find out from you, which is the main thing. You know what I mean? Like that's the best way to break a promise if you have to break a promise. So yeah, so there's a whole thing about how Mithril is what's needed to help kind of ensure that the elves keep their immortality and can survive Middle Earth, and that's the whole reason behind this kind of whole sneak around each other. Everyone's like kind of like, yeah, trying to get people to like lie and stuff, and Elrond's like, no, I'm too wholesome, I'm too pure for this, and he is, and yeah, he like essentially in the end ensures that he's able to like not ruin his friendship with Jeremy. He takes like so often you see these kind of plots and the resolution is that they have to like either betray one person or the other, and usually it's their lifelong friend, and it's like, oh well, I had to betray his friendship for the greater good, and I'm so glad that ultimately they didn't have to do that, and he was able to like keep his friendship with Elrond, with Durin. And if anything, he gave him like a gift in return, which was that he could. And also, Joe's really wholesome about it because, like, obviously we know about the kind of the friction between dwarves and elves, and it's something which will continue for like over thousands of years. But Joe was like, the fact that I get to have power of the elves is like a gift enough, and I'm not gonna like then also leave them to doom. I will actually help them. I just like the fact that I am like their savior now, so that was really great. I don't know if there's gonna be a fallout out of that because Gilgalad saw how Ron did it, but really this is like just to prove that diplomacy and being a good friend works, so that was really nice. We get some further development with the Harfoots, and all you Harfoots like really suspicious of the stranger and they think they're his bad omen, but then he saves them from wolves, and they're like, oh well, he's good now. But it's like this really wholesome discussion at the beginning where Nuri's kind of helping teach a stranger words, and she's like trying to teach him what danger is, and he thinks that he's dangerous because he killed fireflies, and he's like, no, you're good. But then later on we see that his power, if he's not in full control of it, can still harm people around him, and so there's this continuous thing. But that was generally good, and like the fact that now Neri's a bit more aware that he's can be kind of a threat, and like there's a kind of spook between them. But that's still really wholesome as well. And like, and I like how the other half it's like, oh, maybe it's kind of helpful to have like this big giant person around who can help defend us from threats. I think it's actually one of the first episodes where we get to see all four of the plot threads, because usually we skip one or the other, but now we're kind of increasing momentum, and momentum is picking up, like, for sure. Like I've said, not necessarily in a bad way, but in a way which can be quite off-putting, I guess, which is bad, but whatever. That the previous episodes, the pacing can be very kind of slow in a build-up, and you know building up something, but it's kind of very slow, and it breathes, and it takes its time. But definitely the momentum, and it helps because like this is like a build up to war, and so there's often like slow, tensious, uncomfortable, long kind of tension, an awkward tension, and then there's the war and it happens, so it kind of fits in that sense. And then there's a bit where essentially they're trying to convince the Numenor, I need to get it up. Lord of the Rings, Numenorians. When essentially there's the Numenorians getting ready for war. There's also like loads of subplots in this. So, Elendil's dollars from and Farazan, the statements kind of son is trying to get them to stop the war. Other people trying to get them to do the war, but it's like this moment where it's like, oh, are they going to turn around from the war because of the kind of the sabotage that his son did on the ships? Eventually, they kind of convince Harbrand. I don't remember these characters' names. Halbrand convince Halbrand to kind of. So yeah, there's lots of like things going on, and it's interesting in that like you got kind of one person's mechanics about what they want to do, about using. Basically, there's a really good commentary on how capitalism is ultimately a tool for war and expansion and getting resources and building trade and thinking and basically capitalism. So even if this war is all about kind of trying to safeguard and fight against the forces of evil, ultimately some of the people who are generally only interested in this because they think it'll increase their capital and their money and their trade and their finances, and that's a really good commentary of war. Isildur's trying to like be part of this because he wants to prove his worth, even though a couple of episodes ago he was like trying to not prove his worth and just go to the west, and obviously that's causing a lot of conflict. And there was also kind of wholesome moments between him and like his father and his friends who are like not willing to like kind of help him out because really they let him down, but they're also being very like kind of gentle about it, like not being kind of harsh, being the way like friends generally would be. There, and then ultimately because Isildur saves that Stateman's son, Elendil kind of lets him onto the ship. But it's a really cute moment. Like his friends think he's only been allowed on the ship because of essentially, what's the word? Like because his father let him off, and like he's getting away with like stuff, and he's like not learned a lesson. But his father kind of humiliates him in front of his friends. But then he winks at him. It's obvious that the humiliation was just to kind of help endear him back to his friends again. And his friends give him a hug, and then like it mends their friendship. And like that's just wholesome. I like how wholesome this show is with its friendships. Like I really like it. Sorry. And I hope it's just not setting us up for like a moment where it all kind of falls apart, because that's going to break my heart. But if it does break my heart, that's kind of a good token that's doing well. I think I've covered all the plots. Also, like the shot at the end with Galadriel, either being shot, Lily, or don't being shot, where Galadriel has her full armor on. I'm not quite sure where did she get like custom made new elven armor, or was this like Numenorian armor? I can't tell. But she's back in armor and she looks really happy about it. Also, the fight scene when she takes on like the whole bunch of like recruits, teach them like how to fight properly, and she's like, it's basically like no selling, taking it on. It's like one of those like really nicely choreographed elven fight scenes, and then one person manages to slightly nick her fabric, and he gets promoted, and that's really cool. Okay, I'm gonna chip off now because I got to get to work in about an hour's time and I need to shower and poop before then. So I'm going to go now. Hopefully tonight I can watch Andor. I've been trying to watch Andor all week and I never get the chance to. Mad. I'm also at a party tonight, so who knows? I probably won't stay that long. I don't really know many people, so we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. All right, well, see you later.